What in the world just happened? Okay. Hello, everybody, again. Streamlabs always throws me for a loopity-loop. You know what? I should make sure these videos work before I actually start playing them real quick, so give me just a second, because that was insane. Hello, people. Let me check this video. Okay, that works. Okay, so here's what happened. If you're watching this out of context, I'm just opening rapid fire crazy. Here's what happened. I go to the Home Depot's website. I click on, okay, so as you can see at the beginning, they got, you know, the classics, the Big Jack, the Big Skelly, the Pumpkin Stacks, they got Captain Cuts, a couple of new characters, but a lot of holdovers. And I see this Beetlejuice, and it looks kind of like the Gemmy Beetlejuice, but it also doesn't in some of the pictures. So I click on it, and I click the video, and just my whole computer blows up. I guess Streamlabs is not compatible with whatever file the Beetlejuice video is. So I'm not going to play it. Suffice it to say, though, I'm 99% sure that is the Gemmy Beetlejuice. But I bring it up just because there's a new Beetlejuice movie out. I'll also slightly restate my my little intro that I did for the other stream, because I'll probably delete that video and leave this one public. But essentially, there's been a whole kerfuffle with the Home Depot stuff, right? Every year, it's this crazy Black Friday event. This morning, there was like a mad dash to get stuff. The main big thing this year, well, there were two, really. The hearse, which I think sold out really quickly, and Chucky, which didn't come out until later on during the day, and it confused a lot of people and made people, you know, poo their pants a little bit. There's a Facebook group I'm in where it was just like chaos for hours of people trying to get what they wanted. Understandably so. You would think that maybe the Home Depot would have their tech on like high alert this morning. Maybe they did, I don't know, and there was a malfunction. I can't speak for the Home Depot, but I can thank the Home Depot for inviting me to the early Halloween showcase where myself and other influencers kind of looked over their new stuff. And it was really cool to see all of this stuff. There were leaks months ago, talking about all this new stuff. And I never talked about it for whatever reason. I talked about Spirit and Party City and Lowe's even, but not Home Depot. And I needed that final piece, that gem in my Infinity Gauntlet. Because as I mentioned, the Home Depot is like a huge titan right now in the Halloween world. In some ways, I don't mean to, you know, fire any shots, but in some ways they've eclipsed Spirit in in terms of innovation. They use the word innovation a lot at the Home Depot, but as much as I kind of kid about it, they're not wrong, really. I mean, they are innovating with a lot of stuff, and you'll see that this year. I think the servos have been a game changer in the industry. Now we're seeing them in other retail stores. Of course, Home Depot started with the giant stuff, which wasn't my favorite thing. Now we're even getting giant stuff with servos. That's like innovationception, whatever you want to call that. Bizarre. It's completely crazy. I didn't think that I would be in the middle of this all-out, like, Halloween war. Really crazy stuff. But you know what? We're having a fun time watching the fireworks, you know. And really, I gotta say, this has to be one of the best Halloween seasons that I've ever been a part of. For the sole reason that almost every retailer this year, including even the minor ones, like ones you don't usually talk about, they're really bringing their frickin' A game this year, or at least a B game. And it's pretty cool. So, for that reason alone, Halloween 2024 you have my respect. So, what are we doing here? Because most of you have already seen this stuff. Well, this is simply my reaction to the Home Depot's lineup. I'm going to try to keep this stream as simple and straightforward, short and sweet as possible, because I know that you all value your time. I value your time. And I want to just go through the stuff, kind of talk about the Home Depot's lineup. What I will say just off the bat, and this is something that I echoed last year, the year before, Home Depot, maybe more than any other store, although, Spirit I think is still very innovative as well. But more than any other store, the Home Depot is really pushing different characters and really giving great versions of those characters. I think THD last year really solidified that for me, in the sense of, from Home Depot, the last few years we've gotten a goblin, which we have rarely seen, a robot, and now this year a pirate, amongst other things. So, while I think Halloween has to stick true to its classics, you gotta have scarecrows, you gotta have the zombies, the pumpkins, you gotta have all that stuff, right? That is Halloween. You have to innovate. You have to keep moving the holiday and its decor forward and offer different, unique stuff. So to see an alien, to see a pirate, to see a robot, a goblin, things we don't typically see, is great. And I absolutely love it. We got a freaking Dullahan this year. We got some cool stuff. And in addition, we also get some great licensed characters. My buddy Jaden's videos was over the other day, and we were just talking about this season, and we were tallying up how many licensed props there are this year. And you know what we realized? There are almost 20. There are almost 20 licensed characters in 2024. I can't list them all off the top of my head, but if I just had to rattle off, each store is offering their own exclusive licensed characters. Spirit, for instance, has the Corpse Bride bunch, Michael Myers, Ghostface, Art the Clown, and then Party City has their own version of Art the Clown and the Pale Girl. If you count Cthulhu, which I partially do, but also, he's at this point kind of like a historical thing, like the Headless Horseman or whatever, or Dr. Jekyll, but fine. You got Cthulhu, an iconic character from the H.P. Lovecraft mythos. You got HalloweenCostumes.com made a Dr. Finkelstein, if you didn't know, and a Slimer from Ghostbusters, which I'm trying to get on that, by the way. You got Lowe's with the Headless Knight from the Haunted Mansion. And now you have Home Depot doing a Zero, doing the Frankenstein's monster, doing Chucky. Wild stuff. Wild. It's crazy how many licensed props there are this year. And the thing is, though, here's the crazy part on top of it. They're all pretty good, which is crazy. And I didn't expect that at all. So, we're in for a fun, very fun year. Yeah, don't forget, Crazy Guy's right. We even have the Necronomicon from Evil Dead at Party City. I keep forgetting about that, but I definitely have to get it. And there's even more stuff that I didn't mention. And Lowe's did the Wednesday. There's more stuff that I'm forgetting about. That goes to show how many things. But if you count it up, it's almost around 20 licensed characters. Crazy stuff, okay? Okay, I'm going to stop talking now. And we're going to jump into the Home Depot's 2024 lineup. If I go to the website real quick, you can kind of see their little intro, little video, and a lot of the things that I was just showing. Here you can see a lot of those animatronics. You can see the skeletons. You can see the outdoor stuff. There's the hearse. There are the animatronics. You can see Chucky right there and the Frankenstein's monster, and you can see their giant line as well. They have Graven Bones, Fears Through the Years. They have so many different lines. make sure to check out their website. They did mention in their showcase that a lot of their stuff, all of it really, should be in stores by Labor Day. So there you go, September 2nd. But most of it really starts rolling up to the stores in August. So you don't have to wait too long, kids. You do not have to wait too long for any of this stuff. But hopefully you got what you wanted today. I didn't get anything. But, you know, time will change. It looks like, okay, Skelly Dog is maybe back in stock. Nope. Nope, never mind. I just saw it pop up. Frankenstein's monsters in stock. The Inferno Deadwood skeletons in stock. The ship wheel. You know, and then some bundles, some returning stuff like the Boogeyman. So you can check the website for more information on all of that stuff. But I'm going to pull up this this thing they sent at the showcase, which is their media kit, which is the stuff for all the influencers to kind of show off. So we're just going to go through it. There are a lot of videos in this, and I'll just kind of give my thoughts on each of the animatronics. There are a couple that aren't included in the kit, so if there's something you want me to talk about, for instance, the zombie wolf is not in the kit, but I will talk about it gladly. Actually, that is one of the ones that I want, because if you didn't know, this year I'm doing Zombie Campground. You can watch my haunt trailer somewhere. We're doing a zombie national park / campground, and so obviously there are wolves in the forest, and it's zombies, and enough said. You know, it's $200 too. It's a really solid price. It's this big wolf. It's, you know, it's Tifo in it like that. It snarls is what I meant to say. Like, you know those, like, almost any-motion werewolf masks? Does that kind of bit. But it's also a zombie, which is really dope. So yeah, we're going to go through this stuff now. And we're going to start with, well, you know what? I will show off the pictures real quick that they sent. These are their hero shots of some of their new items. You have, of course, the skeleton Skelly classic, which he's got some interchangeable heads and eyes and stuff this year, which is very cool. Even a servoed neck, sort of like Giant Death Ray. Then you have the giant dog, which also sold out really fast. You have the big Deadwood guy, and then there is the wolf, or the zombie wolf, or the zombie werewolf, or whatever you want to call it. Here you have another picture of some of the guys. Also, I really want to, you know, we talk a lot about animatronics here, but these posable, ultra posable skeletons, are incredible. They have a corpse one this year, which I'm going to get a couple for the haunt. I think they're in stores only, though. But they're really posable. I didn't realize this last year. They have ball joints, so you can completely rotate the arms. Even the fingers can grab stuff. The neck, and like you can get them in really interesting and sometimes precarious poses and positions. So there you go. As you can see right here, nothing new other than the Frankenstein monster, who is amazing, and I hope that it will open the door for the other Universal monsters. But we'll talk about that when we get to him. So we're going to start with the 7-foot animated Spellcasting Witch, and we're just going to sail on through. Oh, I don't want to download it. Hang on. Yeah, let's try that again. I think that'll work. Alright. Okay, well, 7 feet counting the hat, so it's probably more of a 6-foot character with a foot-tall, pointy little witch hat.
Now you come over here. I'm sure you taste much better when you're afraid.
Oh! Wait, that's kind of cool, actually. I like the eye in the hand, actually. I didn't notice that before.
I'll be more than happy to help you find your way.
Okay, you know what? That was one that I, like, completely dismissed because I never hardly look at the witches. Kind of cool, actually. I don't love the face on it. It just is, like, generic witch face. But the hand with the eye is dope, and how it kind of pushes it forward. And I think that's a budget prop. Yeah, much better than, you know, like a night terror sort of situation for a budget animatronic. Actually, that's not bad. I mean, I don't really want it, but, you know, if witches are your thing, that's one of the better ones that I've seen in a while, for especially a budget. So there you go. Oh, is it? It's 200? If it's 200, I would slightly adjust, my opinion then. Yeah, I mean, if it's... I mean, you know, yeah, that's a little overpriced. I like the hand gimmick, though. If the face was better and the clothes, if it wasn't so generic looking, because the cool part is that hand, I wish they would have accented that more. So anyway, well, there you go on the witch. It's not. Oh, there we got GM Haunts in the chat. What's up, Griff? So it's $99. Okay, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. I like the thing in the hand. It's fair. You know. All right, we're gonna keep going. We have up next the Plague Doctor, which I think we all can agree the Plague Doctors are awesome. It's like watching a movie.
The pestilence is here.
Come in. The doctor will see you now, towering above even
Okay, so this is not the
healthiest
voice of the
specimens.
Plague Doctor. This is the voice of the Home Depot guy talking about the Plague Doctor.
Casts a shadow on all who cross its path. Its big
Dope set, by
beacon
the
of
way.
Light and foul-boned staff fill a midnight dreary with bright LED light, and his distressed cinder goggles change colors, while the death-proof bird mask and tall, stiff collar illuminate the long black beak. And wide-brimmed
I love the
hat
leathery
with its
look
signature.
of the clothing. Also, sorry, you're gonna have to
His
mind my
strong gloves
face
and
is in the
big boots are
corner.
blacker than the Great Death, while his brown satchel is a catch-all for
Oh, that's
powerful
cool.
potions. Draw its omnipresent eye, and this frightening physician comes to life, promising more than just medicine.
Okay.
There is evil here.
Oh, I like the rats.
I will rid you of it.
Oh, that's
But
his voice.
perhaps
That's his
the good
actual
doctor
voice.
Isn't all that good after all.
This lavender in my mask is barely covering your stench. Bring
Oh, that's cool.
me the leeches.
Oh, so they actually include the lore. If you didn't, the history of the Plague Doctors is they had, you know, smelling flowers in the mask so they wouldn't smell the rotting flesh and stuff, and they'd put leeches on people. The plague was a wild time. You remember that? Remember that? The Plague Doctor? Yeah, so the Plague Doctors are awesome. I really quite like it. There are a couple of things, and now, okay, so I gotta be careful with what I say. But what I'd like to preface is that it's a great animatronic. I'd like to say that what I'm about to critique are nitpicks, but they are things that I notice. And also, you have to remember, I don't look at stuff fully as a decorator. I look at things from a haunted house and attraction perspective. That's normally how unless it's licensed, like for my room or whatever, for the vibe. So, like, why does everything have to be really tall when it doesn't always make sense? Like, Frankenstein's monster's a big fella, you know, he's 7 feet. A Plague Doctor, or like Captain Cuts the Pirate, like a THD I got, he's a big robot. But like a Plague Doctor and a pirate are normal human beings. Would they not be regular sized? I know that's a nitpick, and you might say, oh, but it's a cooler decoration, which is fair, and I would agree with you there. But for me, coming from that perspective, I'm like, I'd want it to be in the correct character, the way that it would be. But I'm looking beside the point. It's still very nice. I am not a fan of the EL wire lights. Again, it goes for me back to character. This is a character that's from hundreds of years ago. Why does he have like high-tech lights and like glowing eyes? Also, does his staff have a skeleton bird on it? I can look past the staff because yeah, he probably did that. But I would probably, if I did purchase this guy, I would definitely unplug those lights for haunt purposes. Now, if you're decorating it with your house, then have at it. You know, just set him up because he is quite cool. Great stature. I really like the lantern, and again, the clothes are sick. It's hard to mess up a Plague Doctor, you know, because the Plague Doctor alone is awesome. But yeah, so those are my my critiques on the Plague Doctor, but I still think it's a very cool character. Alright, up next, we have the Victorian Vampire, aka basically Nosferatu, which there's a new movie coming out this year, by the way, for Nosferatu.
What evil stirs in coffins, crypts, and the dark places where sunlight dare not creep? Nosferatu. Enter the lair of the 7-foot animated Victorian vampire. Arisen after more than 100 years in repose, the silver screen's most famous fanged fright has returned. With an appetite. His long, hungry teeth show the yellow of age.
The detailing on the face is very good.
Ravaged by countless nights.
I love the fuzzy eyebrows.
Or a drop to eat.
I think my favorite part about this vampire so far, though, are the clothes. The clothes are magnificent.
Under bushy gray brows,
and so obviously he's not outdoor rated for that reason.
Gold, searching, yearning to taste the essence of youth incarnate.
Life shall fade into pallid shade as I sup upon your blood.
Okay, so he has 6 phrases. At first I wasn't crazy about his voice, but now hearing it again, it's fine. Yeah, the clothes are absolutely incredible. This is how all prop clothes should look, if they're an indoor rated prop, of course. It just has the great texture, it really gives it character, and I love that. My big critique of him, which again, I really do like this vampire, is it's just very SVI, and what I mean is it has its hands out at the same position that every other SVI prop has the hands out, and it has the SVI eyes, and it turns side to side. It's very SVI in that regard. It reminds me a lot of their clowns and things like that. Luckily, I think the face and the clothing make up for it, and the fact that it is a Nosferatu-inspired vampire, which I really like those. And I like the bat ones, too. Obviously, it won't compete with distortions, of course, but you're also paying $200 versus distortions, like it's what, like $500, and it's a static. So you gotta pick and choose what your priorities are. But I think like for home decoration and stuff, this is a very cool vampire. Count Orlok, aka Nosferatu, inspired. Yeah, he would have been a good one to use servos for. I wish he had a better hand position. Like, if you know, even if you haven't seen the movie, the iconic image of Nosferatu, he has, like, his hands straight down to his sides. I wish kind of he had that kind of imposing presence. I don't know why every character feels the need to have their hands out like that. Sometimes the hands to the side look is creepier, I feel. But anyway, that's the Victorian Vampire. Up next is the Marionette Witch.
What evil stirs in coffins, crypts, and the dark places where sunlight dare not creep?
Oh, wait. I clicked the... I was so confused. Sorry. I'm like, what? The marionette is in a crypt? I should also preface the marionette by saying that it's interesting that we got Bobby Strings, who's a marionette, and the Marionette Witch in the same year.
Words have turned my bones into sticks. That's what I get for testing spells on myself.
A sad tale, to be sure. The 6-foot animated Marionette Witch once had the world on a string. Now she plays puppet to an age-old curse. Stuck hanging from her sturdy wooden support structure, this woeful witch is desperate to cut loose. Trigger her motion sensor and she springs to life.
Okay.
Begging and pleading rise on her fixed frame as her pallid face and eyes fit.
I wanted to pause it on an image of her, and I got a great blurry one for you. As Mr. Hollow said in the chat, great concept, weird execution. First of all, as much as I'm not a fan of witches, there are ones that I like. I don't think this benefits from being a witch. I think the idea of a creepy marionette is great. I don't know why it's a witch marionette. I guess because the answer is it's more Halloween-y and you can, put it on your porch than just a Pinocchio-looking puppet, which I get, but the use for it is bizarre. Yeah, Bobby is more of a classic marionette. I do like the praise of it is I do like the way it's sculpted. It does look like a wooden marionette. I believe that Lance Allen, who's in charge of the Home Depot's Halloween stuff, said he was inspired by real marionettes when he went on a vacation overseas. So that's really cool. I like the inspiration for it, and the execution of it moving isn't bad. It's just really the look and kind of the fact that it's a witch is where I, draw the line. Had this have just been a regular puppet, I would have favored it a lot more, because the price is great. The price is there. I think if you would have taken more of the look of Bobby Strings with the price and animation of this, I don't know what Bobby Strings animation is yet, but I think you would have a top-tier animatronic. So this is a very niche thing that some people will like, and then some people will not like. But the idea is there, and I think the idea is strong. Okay, up next we have Carnival Carl. Okay, so this is actually one that I have not watched the video for yet. This is a clown, I believe, with a hammer, if I'm not mistaken.
Step right up.
You! Yes, you! What are you waiting for? The circus is in town, and the enormous 8.5-foot animated Carnival Carl invites you to try your luck. With his huge hammer in hand, this startling sideshow appears more trick than treat. But he's just clowning around. Or is he? Trigger his motion sensor, and you'll find out as he swings his hammer up and down, his painted jaw opening to speak.
You look strong. Why don't you come take a shot? If you lose, I'll just put you in place of the bell.
Okay, so I was waiting to hear his voice. So somewhat Halloween Forever, I do agree with your sentiment, and if Home Depot is watching this, I would, on behalf of the Halloween fans, I guess this is not counting families with kids who want to watch these videos, but I really don't need the narration of these videos. I would just kind of like to watch the demo of the prop. I miss the day. I know this sounds old school, like back in my day, but I remember the days when Spirit would post a video of an animatronic, white background, and it would just stand there. They'd have a light on it, and it would do its animation fully. That was perfect because I could fully see what it did. There was no quick editing to trick me on what it's doing. I like the sets and I like the cinematography, but to me it's a bit unnecessary. Especially when I have to wait like a minute to finally hear what the thing frickin' says. Its voice is okay. I like parts of the costume. The blue with the red is weird. I wish the sleeves were just one or the other, like beige or red. I don't know why it threw in that third color is weird. But that's not the main part. The main part to me is the face is odd looking. I don't know. Maybe that's the point. I mean, people know me as the guy that doesn't like the clowns. But I do actually like clowns when they're done well. This one's a mixed bag for me. I liked the pictures of it, and then when I saw it, like, the design's neat. I like how he kind of moves the hammer around. I don't know. Yes, I think I agree with the chat. Xavi there. Yeah, the eyes are not great, and the face does look a bit derpy, which I guess you could make the excuse of, like, oh, a clown's supposed to be funny. Sure, but it doesn't change the fact that, I don't know, it's a strange one. Mixed bag on him. I'm not gonna I don't really need to watch the video of the 12-foot Skelly. It's the 12-foot Skelly. Unless there's, like, the servo stuff in this video.
Nightmares are made of.
Yeah, I don't really need to. I will comment on, they did add a servo neck one that you can buy. You can also buy an interchangeable head that's a scary version of the Skelly. There's also a girl wig, which is very silly to me. And like a little purse or something. I don't get that, but okay. And then there's also eyes that you can get with different holidays in it, which that's kind of intriguing. Like, there's fireworks, there are hearts, there's like Christmas stuff, like there's like different, so you can use it throughout the seasons. But like, are people actually leaving this up all year? Like, I've never driven down the street and seen a 12-foot Skelly out in February for the use to put heart eyes in it. Maybe, but I feel like there are a lot of HOAs that would get pissed. And I'm a Halloween guy, don't get me wrong, but like, there is an extent to it. Like, even though my room is all Halloween-y, there is a point that I get to where I'm like, if it's always Halloween-y, then when it's actually Halloween, it's less special. If there's skeletons out all year, then when people put their skeletons out for Halloween, makes no difference. So, thankfully, I mean, most people don't leave a 12-foot skeleton in their yard, but again, it just makes me question some of the accessory kits that they make. They have, like, a Santa suit and other things like that. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. But yeah, that's intense if you're leaving your skeleton out all year. That's even intense for me, and I'm like the Halloween-y guy. But okay. Anyway, let's move on to the giant cauldron. Not super exciting, so I won't really watch it for long, especially if there's a narration about a cauldron that just glows. Oh, it's just a music. Okay, that's cool. I mean, Home Depot's done several of these. I really like the one with the green ooze in it because I'm me. I like green. But this one's fine. I mean, if you know what'd be cool is if... Oh, I like the skull kind of poking out. If you're doing something that involves candy apples for a party or something, or a Halloween event, and you got a witch, and you have, like, candy red apples, this would be cool to, like, put by it. Because it just, you know, complements the candy so well. And I do like the smoldering skulls at the bottom. It's a great piece. I hardly ever do witch stuff, so I don't really have a huge need, but it is good for what it is. Any of their cauldrons, I think, are some of the best cauldrons that you could get. If it means anything to you, I should say. The purple one is quite good too, but it's nice they're doing all the different colors, which is very cool. Did they do a yellow one too? This is the giant Deadwood skeleton, apparently.
Come further, only if you dare. For when trees have swallowed the sun, your eyes can hardly believe what horrors they see. Standing many times the size of your average trick-or-treater, the massive 12.5-foot Inferno Deadwood skeleton has torn itself from its roots.
This one's neat because, one, it's this full sculpted body, much like the pumpkin and the skeleton, but you can, like, change the colors in it, and you can make it, like, cooler, you could make it warmer colors. I like the features of that. It does remind me a lot of Groot, which I don't think they can avoid. Yeah, I do agree with, I think it would look a lot cooler if the eyes were the same color that you select. Like, okay, imagine this face, right? But these eyes are just this color, you know, instead of the human eyes. I don't get why it would have that in it. Like, kind of like the haunted tree, which we'll get to in a bit. It's just one color. I think that would have been a better execution for it. Yeah, see, like, I would have filled it in, because it's a little strange. But, you know, their 12-foot stuff kind of sells itself. Like, if you're a fan, obviously this one's not as popular this year. But, you know, I think you take some swings. You don't make them all. But I think Home Depot, frankly, can afford it with all the great bangers that they have every year. So I think that's fine. It's not bad. It's not my favorite thing. But we'll get to my favorite large-scale thing they've done, I think, in a second. Maybe. I don't see it. Oh, I see it. All right, let's do one of my favorite things this year, the Frankenstein's monster. The Universal Studios officially licensed Frankenstein's monster, and we'll talk about that. We will talk about that.
A living being! I've created life! It's alive!
Oh, here we go with the
But
talking.
will you?
They really like yapping on here.
Under the glow of the...
Oh, there was that's the actual audio.
Under the glow of the moon, is frightened.
I'm just gonna mute it. Yeah, I mean, it's the Frankenstein's monster. One of the most iconic characters, maybe debatably the most iconic monster of all time. I mean, it literally is the monster. The fact that you can have, like, a silhouette of it on, like, a thing of candy, and you instantly know, everyone, like, in the world knows what it is pretty awesome. I love the classic Universal monsters. I do. I would love to see more of them, and I hope this sells great so that we can get more of them. I would love to see... Some of them are hard to do, though, to be fair. Like, I think everybody wants to see Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's just such a hard sell. It's got to be a full sculpted body, you know? Maybe use fabric for some of it, but it's just covered in detail, which is tricky. It doesn't wear clothes. I would love to see my favorite of the monsters, the Invisible Man. But is it a great sell? Will people buy that? I don't know. But it would be a much cheaper prop to make because it's completely covered in clothing. Wolfman, you know, you got to worry about the fur, but it could be done. I think Dracula is a great sell too. It's just the matter of, does it look like Bela Lugosi? And that's what I want to get to with this Frankenstein's monster is it... They said they watched the 1931 film and really, like, got every detail, every cut right. But to me, I don't want to sound like a purist or anything, but I guess I kind of am acting like that right now. This doesn't fully look like Boris Karloff in the face. Now, it's not a bad face. I get maybe it's because of the servo stuff. And I guess a little you could say for Chucky as well. But because of that, it loses maybe some of the movie accurate detail in favor of getting the prop right, which I guess I would favor getting the prop right, but it's just something that I point out. Doesn't take away from that this is an awesome animatronic. Like, look at the movement, how fluid it is. It's great. But if you're like someone who's like, I gotta make it look like Boris Karloff, it's not completely there. At least for me. But the details are all correct. The cuts, the bolts, the hair and how it's positioned, the stature. And I know some people were not a fan of the audio. I'm an advocate for it. I think it's fine. Like, what else would you do with the Frankenstein monster? To me, this monster looks a bit more like the Glenn Strange monster from some of the sequels to Frankenstein, like I don't know, like Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Looks a bit more like that monster than the original one. And I will just say this while I have a lot of you watching, viewership. If you're a Halloween person and you haven't seen the Universal Monster movies, because there's a lot of them, I really recommend for your Halloween season you give them a shot. Yes, they're old. Yes, there are some boring ones. But you have to respect them, You got to respect where these monsters started. And they really paved the way for horror. Like, you could not have Jason or even Art the Clown or any of these new icons of horror without these guys. And so I love that the Frankenstein monster is getting love this year. And if I'm going to really try my hand to get Chucky. But if I'm just hitting a brick wall and I can't get the Chucky, I may just get the Frankenstein monster. And I might get it regardless. It's just a matter of where I want to allocate my money. In my opinion, this is just me as a haunt guy, I have to go for the stuff that the haunt needs first, before my personal stuff. So as much as I want Giant Death Ray, or the Frankenstein monster, or Chucky, or Slimer, or whatever the case may be, I have to focus on the haunt first, and then I can jump into my personal faves. But this is definitely one of them. The Frankenstein monster is freaking awesome, and it may be the case of when I see it in stores, it'll just completely make me go, okay, I gotta get it, because I already want it. I just know in person I'm gonna go, holy crap, that's super cool. So yeah, there you go, Frankenstein monster. I'm not gonna oogle over it anymore. We're going to keep going. We're going to get to the Knight Dullahan, a.k.a. basically the Headless Horseman, but more of this like Irish mythical figure versions of it. If it will play. There we go. Maybe.
Saddle up with Ireland's own nogginless nightmare. The 8.5-foot Knight Dullahan. In the crow-black night, his red LED eyes smolder like two hot coals. His menacing mouth and exposed chest radiate with rage. Rearing in excitement.
That is a very impressive prop.
Has glowing.
I'd love to see a future Dullahan with no head. Like, not even holding it, like just a headless, ghostly figure. That would be really cool. I love this, though. I really do love the horse, especially, and its stature. And there's nothing holding it up. It's just all internal. It's all within the legs, which is super impressive, excuse me. And what I will say, too, is I would love to see more mythical creatures and legends as animatronics. And the Irish folklore has a ton of them. Leprechauns and fae and trolls, gnomes. All that stuff is super cool, and we don't see it a lot in the Halloween world, and I would love for a Home Depot, if anybody could do it, would do it. I'd love to see them tackle more characters like the Dullahan. But yeah, he is a gnarly guy. Obviously, if you're a fan of the Headless Horseman and you want like the one with the jack-o'-lantern head, they had that before. But this is very cool, too, to see a different take on the same type of design. But yeah, I hope they will continue to do that. We are getting near the bottom of our video list. But it's been a dope ride so far. I hope you're enjoying the live stream. It's been a lot of fun so far. We only have a couple more, but if you have any comments, I'm watching the chat at the moment, and it's sweet. Seeing all this stuff is great. And when it gets in stores, it's really going to be special.
Mortals, bear witness.
This Halloween, he will reap what he sows. Hovering high above the ground, the 12-foot animated levitating reaper surveys his earthly hunting ground, seeking fresh souls and bringing death from above.
You are merely ants in my game of death and destruction.
Enormous hands clutch an even bigger scythe and staff, while tattered black robes conceal this grim ghoul. Let them sight.
Okay. So, let me say, the voice has that very generic kind of cadence to it, and I'm not crazy about it, but I can look past it because this, to me, is the best of the 12-foot characters, in my opinion. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any. I don't count Giant Death Ray for that. I'm counting like these really big ones, and Death Ray is technically like he could be a regular sized alien, just a tall species if you want to go there. But this is the best that the Home Depot has done, I think, because it took the stature of the 12-foot Skelly and the innovative base that the Witch used. But I wasn't crazy as much about the Witch, but I still love that one. This brings them both together, and it is just so cool. It's very reasonably priced for $300. This is a show-stopping piece, and it changes color. I mean, it's cool. It's the freaking Grim Reaper, guys. Come on, like the Grim Reaper. How cool is that? I mean, he is absolutely epic. I'm gonna mute that. But yeah, you can change the color, and a lot of the colors are really cool. I think the red is maybe the best way to go, even though I am a green fan. Like, look at that. Like, that is sick. And, you know, they mostly use the red in the advertisements, so I think they kind of have a preference as well. No, but he is great. I mean, he is really impressive. And I love the scythe, too, how it's, like, old and wooden. Just brings a lot of character to him. The clothing's great, and how he's floating like that. Yeah, he is definitely the best of the 12-footers, excuse me. But yeah, he is cool. Okay. Up next, we have the Trickster Trio. I believe this is the Clown Posse. I think. Maybe. I want to jump right into it. Yep.
The perfect night for some devious pranks.
Indeed! You do well to steer clear of the 7.5-foot animated Trickster Trio. These terrifying triplets have one thing in mind, and it isn't minding their own business. Their LED eyes glow a bright yellow.
So this is like a pumpkin stack, but of clowns. I just want to hear their voices.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
Hush, enough jokes.
Philip. Philip who? Fill up my bag with candy.
Display each fearsome fool separately for a carnival of coverage.
Or stack them up high, one on
Oh, snap.
top of the other.
I didn't know they did that.
Some madness.
I was wondering how they did that in their little video. That's cool. Also, I will quickly shout out Boner Jams. You're always donating. I appreciate you, dude. Nothing better than the start to a Halloween season. Great introduction. So thank you so much. Glad you guys are all watching. Clown. Okay, let me talk about this Clown Trio. you have to have a very specific clown theme that you're doing to warrant getting this. There's a lot of like vintage carnival stuff won't work. This is like goofy, bizarre clowns, and I don't even know if I'm crazy about this being a part of that niche either. If clown fans aren't even crazy about this, then that's how you know. It's a cool idea, though. I like that you can separate them and stuff. It's a fun animatronic in theory. I just don't know. It's not the best execution of the idea, but it's whatever. I don't even know how much it is. It's just very goofy. Like, this is like something for kids, which is fine because Halloween is for kids, but it is something to keep in mind. Yeah. But it's not the type of clown that I usually gravitate toward. I'm going to skip a particular one and get to the Skelly Dog, and then I'll get back to last but not least. I should address, by the way, that the wolf is not included in the videos, and I don't know if there's any others before I get to the last one. Just Chucky, spoiler alert. But this wolf, okay, so you see the mouth, it like snarls. It's not going to let me zoom in that much, but the mouth snarls and it barks and the tail moves back and forth. It is awesome. I wish I had a video of it to show you in the collection. I tried to look it up on YouTube and I couldn't find one, so just take my word for it. It is really cool, and this is one that I'm going to be getting for my haunt, so fingers crossed I can get it in stores, and it will be featured in Shelter 16, which is super cool. I also think it's great that you can use it both as a werewolf and also as a zombie wolf, just in its own way. So yeah, oh, and you're right, there's no Captain Cuts video. Let me see real quick if I can look up the Captain Cuts video if it exists. Because that's a shame. That's a real shame. Because Captain Cuts is awesome. Yo, there is a video. There is a video of Captain Cuts.
Here be another scallywag to join me crew. Step in line and hop to, Oral.
Crooked silver hook.
Oh,
And the
here we go with
long
the talking
sharp
again.
cutlass for which he's named.
Alright, well, look at his face. Just
This
watch the
seafaring
face.
swashbuckler has quite an edge. Like any buccaneer worth his weight in gold, he's befriended by a beautiful bird perched on his shoulder. His twisted gray beard is as long as a day on the stormy seas. And his weathered blue overcoat is splattered with the consequences of raids gone right and wrong. Awaken this Davy Jones and watch as his heavy-lidded, rum-soaked eyes move. He blinks lazily, looking from
Look,
side
he's got a
to
dead
side
eye.
as he tilts up, finding his sea legs and threatening.
Yeah, I mean, he is really impressive. He reminds me of, obviously Lethal Lily, THD, those kind of characters. That might be the best facial movement of any of them, though. I haven't really done pirates. I think pirates work for Halloween. I think it can be a hard sell, though. I think usually they go in the ghost or skeleton pirate direction. But the Captain Cuts is no doubt the best pirate that we've seen. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, like you said, out of Disney, almost. Which is really incredible that you can get it for such an affordable price. I think it's $200. Absolutely insane. He is a really fun one. I'm excited to see him in person, too. Great facial movement. Okay, the Skelly Dog.
Tick life eyes start to blink, changing color and shape.
Oh, so there's the, different eyes that you can do.
Burning, bulging, and exploding inside its sizable skull. Always man's best friend.
So, it's in scale with the Big Skelly, which is fun. If I don't have the Big Skelly, there's not a huge reason for me to get the Big Skelly Dog. And so, to me, it's just like, if you have the Skelly and you like dog stuff, then jump on it. But if you're not a big Skelly fan, I don't really see the point of just get. I mean, some people might just have the dog. For me, it's a little too cute. I know it's a skeleton technically, but it's a little too cute for my liking. And Halloween is not supposed to be the cutest. You can have cute stuff, I suppose. Not really for me. So there you go. And I do want to take this time to say that before I get to the last animatronic, there are some that I didn't get to mention because they weren't included in the media package. But make sure to check out Home Depot's website for yourself. See their props and stuff. You know, look this stuff up. But yeah, that Skelly Dog will not compete with that great big wolf. It won't. It's not even close. Not even in the same ballpark. But they both sold out, so that says something. Definitely says something. Okay. Last but certainly not least, is a prop that I don't think anyone was aware of existed, and then they dropped it on us. It's Chucky, okay? I'm a huge fan of Chucky. If you didn't know, I have 3 Chucky dolls in my room. I met Alex Vincent. I have some signed stuff. Alex Vincent plays Andy in the Child's Play movies. I've watched all the movies. I'm caught up on the series, which is great, by the way. If you don't watch the Chucky show, like, what are you doing? What's going on now? Watch the Chucky show. It's very funny. It's very good. It's got some good kills in it, too. It's Chucky. What do you expect? It's ridiculous. It's over the top. It's stupid. But it's Chucky. Who doesn't love the best killer doll? Screw you, Annabelle. So sorry, but you will never beat Chucky. He's just so fun. Now, when I saw the Chucky in the little lookbook they gave us, I pooped my pants and I fell on the ground. I'm just kidding. But seriously, when I saw it and I realized right away that it was going to be servo and have the facial movement like THD and all the rest, I went, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And my favorite part of this Chucky is that it's not the scarred Chucky from Bride and Seed of Chucky. I'm so happy because it's not that that's a bad Chucky. I definitely prefer the good guy doll one by a lot. But we've just seen so many versions of it, you know? I'm just tired of the merch of the scarred up Chucky. Chucky's better as a doll. So this Chucky is $200. I do agree in the sentiment we need a Servo Freddy. I think that will be coming down the line eventually. But it's really cool. Yeah, they used it just like the puppet. There are a couple... This isn't a full critique. It's just something that struck me, and I don't know if anyone else noticed this. There are a few times when his face moves that it reminds me of the remake Child's Play with Mark Hamill, with the aka the Buddy doll. And I went, whoa, I'm getting like Buddy flashbacks. Which, spoilers, I actually enjoyed that remake for what it was. It wasn't Chucky, but it was a fine movie. But I got a couple flashbacks to that. Obviously, Chucky's great. I love this animatronic. I think we haven't really technically gotten a life-size Chucky before. I'm going to play the video now. But we haven't gotten a life-size Chucky, really. We got Roomba Chucky, which is the next best thing, which I have over there in my room, which has sufficed for a while. But this blows it out of the water. And this may be one of the best licensed props, period. Which is crazy.
Go ahead and shoot. I'll be back. I always come back.
Some scares stay with you for years. Everything else.
And I'm gonna mute it. But you can see the awesome animation. It's so crazy. to see this kind of animation on a life-sized licensed Chucky. Like, what? Who thought this was gonna happen? Not me. I had no idea. But what a great animatronic. I mean, what a great way to end it, you know? It even smiles. Just so cool. Yeah, it's definitely the best Chucky by a lot. And one of the best licensed characters. And to me, if you're going to do a Chucky, and I'll throw in Freddy here too, these very animated killers, you got to get the animation right. You can't, like, that's why the Gemmy Freddys have never worked, because it's just a static face. It doesn't capture the spirit of the character. This captures the spirit of Chucky, which is great. Now, Chucky mega fan brain says that a lot of the lines here are from Seed of Chucky and Bride of Chucky, and it's weird to hear those coming out of the good guy doll version, but you know, it is what it is.
Standing
they're iconic lines that Chucky says, especially when he says, "I'm the killer doll." Like, yeah, you gotta have Chucky say that.
The 3.5-foot animated Chucky.
I initially thought that this was going to be licensed from, I don't know what the official licensing like on the box is. I don't know if it's Child's Play 2 or if it's just Chucky in general. But I thought this was going to be licensed from the TV show and was going to include lines from the show, which I thought would have been nice, or have the theme song in the background. I think exactly for what it is, for the price, which is awesome, is great, and I think he's going to be taller than you think.
Body start to move, and watch this blue-eyed brat come to life, just like in the movies. Watch in horror as the dead-eyed doll wakes and begins to move, blink, and speak.
As a doll, I'm infamous. I'm one of the most notorious slashers in history, and
so Chucky is another character where, like, if you can't get the original voice, then there's no point in doing it, you know. Freddy's slightly different because you can do maybe a decent Robert Englund impression as Freddy, but you will not beat Brad Dourif. You can't. I mean, even Mark Hamill said there's no point in even trying. So they had to get these lines. They had to do it this way. The servo stuff's great. This is like a nearly perfect animatronic, and I understand completely why it sold out like literally in 5 seconds. Yeah. So there are a couple of animatronics that I didn't show. Let me see if I can find those real quick. Jack of Spades is one. Jack of Spades, but I will conclude shortly, because if you didn't notice, when this stream is done, scrub the video and you'll notice my face getting darker. I'm using natural light. I have a window by my desk now, and the sun is setting, obviously, so it's getting dark in here. Let's see if I can show Jack of Spades.
A couple years ago, we introduced the world to our regulars. This
is not
Jack of Spades.
The actual video. This is from the showcase. I guess someone screen recorded it.
A golden color to make him stand out from the other guests at Dean's bar.
So he kind of goes along with the Dean and the Marie the maid or whatever. He's close to being my favorite of the three. I simply wish, and I know that Lance just explained why they chose the gold color for him to make him stand out, but I kind of wish he was just a normal skeleton with the gangster outfit, because I absolutely love the cigar, the drink, the cards, and the rings in the outfit. Like, all that is perfect. It's just the color of the bones, really. And I'm not crazy about the light up eyes, but you know what? It's fine. This is a great budget animatronic. Great budget animatronic. It's very cool. I love that kind of vibe, that gangster vibe. Let me see if I can look up. There's a Beetlejuice, apparently, and apparently there's maybe a new Sally, but I'm guessing it's very similar to what we've seen before. Nope, that's not it. 2024 Beetlejuice.
3 times is all it takes to summon this undead devil into the land of the living. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Let's turn on the juice and see what shit's loose.
That's right, ladies and germs.
So is this, it looks like they got the actual audio from the movie, which is great. Because the old model was just, that's another one where it's like it's hard to match Michael Keaton, obviously. We have this guy, Soul Slasher, which I didn't talk about either.
This is the perfect partner for our Sitter of the Souls from last year's Deadwater collection. The Soul Slasher is an imposing 6.5
I like the pointing.
high. I love his arm movement and how he calls out his next victim. His haunting voice is a perfect fit to his frightening look.
What do we have here?
Oh, and it just ended. But, you know, there you go with that one. I'm trying to think if there's any more. It's okay. I wasn't crazy about the sitter. I didn't hate her. It's a budget prop. I just wasn't doing it for me. And with him, I think I like him better. But do I love him? For $100, yeah. I'm trying to find this Sally, but I'm not getting many results. Not getting many. So I may just chalk it up. There's also a Vampire Jack that I could show, I guess.
That sound can only mean one thing.
Oh, there's the Sally in the background.
As the winds turn cold and the darkness ever deepens, the 6-foot animated Jack Skellington stands ready.
Okay, I'll end on this rant. And I'll keep this brief. I would love to talk about this in its own video. I've said this before, too. The Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my favorite movies. I've seen it, I couldn't even tell you how many times. It's up there with, like, Ghostbusters, of movies I've seen ever since I was a kid. On repeat, I can quote the whole movie, I know all the songs. I love it. I love it. The movie's great. It's my favorite animated movie, if it means anything to you. I am sick of the merch. I would like it to all stop. There's so much merch about this movie, and most of it is not in the correct art style. It doesn't have the same vibe. The vibe of Nightmare Before Christmas is weird and borderline creepy. They even have a name for creepy claymation. And all the stuff is cute, and it ticks me off, and it makes me sad, because every time there's a new Nightmare Before Christmas item, which in theory, for a movie that I love as much as Nightmare, that I should care about, I simply don't. So I have literally no feelings about either of these animatronics whatsoever. But all I will say is, why are they wearing outfits that aren't in the movie? Like, what's the point? Why does it not open its mouth? Why does he do his head like that? It's really bizarre. Get the one, you know, that actually did the whole thing. Nightmare Before Christmas has been milked forever. It's been milked by Hot Topic. It's been milked by Spirit. Every time I see a Nightmare Before Christmas thing, almost always, I just roll my eyes and I just get a little sadder because it makes me forget how much I love the movie, because the movie's great. There is a Zero, and the Zero is maybe the most promising thing to come out of Nightmare Before Christmas merch land in some time. I will point this. I can't find. Oh, I forgot to talk about the tree. I gotta talk about that tree. Sorry, I keep finding stuff that I didn't talk about. We'll be here all night. And I also didn't. Well, let me finish my rant about Nightmare Before Christmas for a second. What was I gonna say? Oh, final note. We need Coraline stuff, and I'm glad they're moving on a bit to Corpse Bride. I hope they don't milk that for all it's worth. There's a lot of merch for Nightmare Before Christmas. I know maybe I'm speaking to the ladies here, and I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but there's a lot of merch about Jack and Sally being shipped like they're in love. And yes, that is a plot point in the film, but it's a very minor one, and it's a little concerning that I see all this stuff that's like made for one another. I love you with Jack and Sally. It's like, have you seen the movie? Do you know that's like 3 minutes of the entire movie are about Jack and Sally? Like, she helps him get the little Christmas potion. Obviously, you know she likes him during the movie, and then they kiss at the end. It's very sweet. I don't have any problem with romance, but like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff about it. Anyway, I'm gonna jump off that tangent. I do love The Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't want to sound like a hater. But it's a great film. It's lovely. But yeah, I'm just sick of the merch. Anyway, let's end, I suppose, on... Well, I'll mention briefly. I'm not gonna get it. There's no videos of them yet because I think it's gonna come out with the Christmas stuff. But there are a few things to note. There is a Darth Vader. If you remember years ago, there was a little Mackin who said, "I think there should be a Michael Jackson prop." If you remember. And I also said in that same video, I think there should be a Darth Vader. Well, I was freaking right this whole time. So the Michael Jackson could happen. Probably not. But there is a Darth Vader. It has a stupid pumpkin in its hand and a stupid Christmas thing. Don't know why it couldn't just be Darth Vader. Same for the Stormtrooper. But, you know, I mean, they gotta make it holiday incorporated, I guess. And he has to talk about holidays. But more exciting, which is sad because Darth Vader's awesome, is there is a Scrooge animatronic that was leaked. And what I do wonder whether it's this year or in the future. Home Depot, the Ghosts, aka past, present, future, and Jacob Marley are all on the table for animatronic making. So let's get on that. Maybe I'd love to have the full Christmas Carol lineup. That'd be awesome. Because Christmas Carol is like one of the greatest things ever. Anyway, I will begin to wrap up. I will talk finally, about the Murderous Maple, aka the Haunted Tree.
What is alive?
Let's just get to it.
Draped in moss and brown autumn leaves, this king of the forest is every inch evil. Covered in realistic detail, from its rotten roots up to its craggy, crooked crown.
I love the details all over it. The leaves and the bark, how it's all hand crafted. It's great. It's very good. I don't love the face. I know it's supposed to be Evil Tree, and that is what most evil trees look like. I don't like the light coming out of it. Like, it's mix-matched. Like, I wish it was just a hollow face. That's the true embodiment of the Evil Tree. When it has blue light, it gives me PTSD of the Big Lots, fabric trees, and that turns me away from it. But admittedly, the detail on it is very nice. So that's what I have to say about the Murderous Maple. There's a ship steering wheel. It literally spins. But it would go cool with Captain Cuts and some of the other stuff at Lowe's. And that's really what I got for you. That is really what I got for you. There's the Frankenstein monster. Lethal Lily is available, it appears. Blah, 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 blah. There's inflatables, I suppose, and other stuff that you can look at. All well and good. But you know what? At the moment, that's all I got for you, folks. That's all I got for you. Whew. That was a lot of stuff. But I'm glad I finally talked about it. I've been waiting to talk about it for a long time. Long time. Apparently there is a thing called the First Mate, which I think is like a pirate skeleton. Yeah. It's $150. It is a pirate skeleton. Can I show a video of this? Because I guess I might as well include it.
Set your sails for the afterlife. The 6-foot animated pirate side.
Oh, it's a servo-headed skeleton.
Voyage, and you are but a bilge-sucking bother.
Oh.
This old salt has seen everything from Dead Man's Cove to Davy Jones' locker. And he's ready.
Oh, he's
to tell
cool,
you all
actually. I
about
like him.
If you keep your mangy mitts off his loot in his left hand. Or take a swig from this.
I wish he was a little dirtier, and it's hard to really fully praise him because I can see Captain Cuts in the background, and it's like night and day. I mean, he is a skeleton, so you obviously can't get really animated with it, but yeah. That's very cool. Very nice. But obviously, yeah. So, that's all I got. We've talked enough about Home Depot today, I think. There may be some other little third-party stuff I didn't jump into, but we got the big stuff out of the way, and that was what mattered the most to me. In the comments, this is the chat, right? We have the chat here, but leave a comment on this video down there, especially when it's all said and done, about which of these is your favorite. For me, I have a couple. The wolf, obviously, is awesome. I love the Chucky, of course, and the Frankenstein monster. I think those might take the taco for me. But there's so many great things. I mean, the Grim Reaper, again, is the best 12-foot thing. I mean, there's so many cool things. Captain Cuts is awesome. There's no wrong answers, in your opinion. So, drop a comment below. And you know what? Thank you for taking your time out of your glorious Thursday to come chill with me and chat, and, yeah. Anyone heard anything about the ultra-posable skeletons? I can only speak for the corpse ones. From what I heard, apparently they're in-store only. I think the other ones were sold out. Could be wrong about that, though. But we'll see. Anyway, drop a comment. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever you need to do, so that you can see me react to this stuff in stores when it comes out, probably in about a month, maybe even less. It's crazy. And we will see this stuff in person and see how it holds up with your real eyes. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. It's a blessing to have your viewership. I know that there are a lot of awesome Halloween channels out there, and I just appreciate being one of them. And your interaction really makes a huge difference to me, because I can talk in on a soapbox for a while and be like in an echo chamber, just hearing my own opinions. But I like hearing from you. I like hearing it. You guys are very creative, and it's a lot of fun to interact. They will come to stores probably within sometime in August. They said in the showcase, hopefully everything will be on display by Labor Day, which is September the 2nd. So there you go. Thank you, folks. Stay spooky, stay awesome, and remember, for all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer.